this is the age I am now. I have a pill box. Now, it's okay. So I have a friend, he's a very good friend of mine. He's a nutritionist.
I got a friend that does pills too.
I believe his company's now called Bloom Holistics, but they do a lot of like natural stuff, and I've got some things that he recommended, like chlorophyll, more like borophyll, goes in turmeric, mushroom supplement, yes, that kind, and it's just a general multivitamin.
Are you on the berberine? Have you
Barbara
heard about the berberine?
I'm on the Barbara Eden.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Berberine. I see it all the time on TikTok.
Okay, I have no idea.
Like it's supposed to help people.
You
with
spend an
things and
inordinate amount of time on TikTok for not being a 17-year-old girl.
I know, and I hate that you say that because that means you don't understand TikTok.
That's exactly right. So explain TikTok to me.
Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it. No, I have a private account where I just do dances to all the latest trending audio.
Fantastic.
No, I'm just kidding. That's not true. Don't waste your time looking for it. I honestly do not. I fucking love TikTok. I really do. TikTok reminds me of the olden days before we spent all of our time looking at a menu to figure out what the fuck we were going to watch. You just turned on the TV and you didn't like that channel and you change it to the next channel. Then you go to the next channel. Then you go to the next channel and you're like, oh, wait a minute. What was that last thing? And you go back to the other channel and that's it. And then sometimes you set favorite channels and that's kind of the people that you follow. And I just fly through FYP and it's funny because, first of all, I love TikTok for the algorithm. Like, I think that it is amazing how well it does at, just finding what you want right now.
Yeah.
Like, I'll get stuck on book talk or I'll get stuck on Gen X talk or whatever, right? And then, but I mean, always in the background is music talk, mixer talk, producer talk. Like, in fact, like the 2ShotsMusicPod account, I think we basically only follow all musicians. But like we follow, like I don't care. I don't really care. We're following like 500 people, and we only have like 50 followers or whatever. So by the way, follow us on TikTok. But what's awesome about that is that it's just music, constantly music. No politics, no drama, not even comedy stuff. None of that. It's just music, musicians doing music stuff around music things, and then of course Greasy Will making fun of Focusrite Scarlets and all of that sort of thing.
It took me an inordinate amount of time to get Instagram to show me exactly what I wanted. It took 7 months of just like really having to curate. I was talking to somebody recently about like they posted something on their, this is an artist I'm friends with, he posted something on his page that somebody fundamentally kind of disagreed. There was a political disagreement.
Okay.
Right.
Civil?
No, not really. Oh. He was civil. The attendees were not. And all I can think to myself is this person doesn't, the person who got on his, he posted a thing, it was polite, it was to his point, he's like, this is what I believe. And somebody wearing some type of red hat got on there and just basically started berating him and telling him what a piece of shit he was for what he believed, and kept engaging. And so eventually my friend backs out of it. And then he just starts going after people who've liked the post or whatever like that. He just starts commenting on stuff. And I thought to myself, this person is a fucking moron, because if he keeps engaging with a post that is about something that he doesn't like, he's going to get shown more posts like that. And the more he does it, the more he's going, what's with this liberal propaganda taking over my page? They're out to take my guns. They're taking my gerbs. And I just couldn't stop giggling because I was like, you know what? Anytime you deal with that, just back off and let them go. They're just kind of digging their own hole of, it's an echo chamber.
Nice job, boomer. Yeah.
I just
doesn't understand how algorithms work.
Yeah, the more you engage with this post and posts like it, the more posts like that you will be shown. That doesn't mean it's all that's out there.
But the algorithms aren't perfect, right? Like there's a thing where, like again, on the 2Shots TikTok, we follow all musicians basically, and producers and mixers and songwriters and blah 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 blah, music people, right?
All the Lord
and
Algies.
some industry people too.
Yeah.
And I don't engage as much with those people as I would normally, like on my regular TikTok.
Yeah,
I have like 6 TikTok accounts, so there's different things. I know it's a crazy thing, but there's if you talk to people who really do TikTok, that's how you actually do it. You have a bunch of different accounts, and you can delete your account and go back in and come back up and like get things better on your views. Like there's a whole thing to it. But anyway, but yeah, this is all social media manager talk. But anyway, on our TikTok thing, I want to tell you this. So, so it's all musicians. And so like, it's just somebody with a ukulele and then a band. And then, you guys, I wrote the song of the summer, and then, whatever. And then it comes to the next thing. But sometimes that is not a musician.
Yeah.
That's just a person playing a ukulele on one video.
Yeah.
And I don't know that because I'm kind of going fast, right?
Yeah.
So there was a time. Okay, we're going to get canceled for this. I am. So you just go ahead and lay out.
I'm going to moonwalk. Okay, I'm going to shut up.
Okay, so there were a few people that I followed, and they aren't pro musicians, let's say. The video wasn't great. They weren't dressed a certain way. They weren't playing great songs, but they were given a shot at a little ukulele song or a little guitar song. And there was one that was doing a piano song. And then I just started noticing a bunch of people with giganticism, like their heads were too big for their body.
Okay.
And then I started noticing some people who are, let's say, on the spectrum of able. Mm-hmm. And then I started realizing that some of the people I followed back there playing ukulele were actually in sort of the otherly abled community.
Okay.
But because I followed a few of those, TikTok was like, oh, you're down for this. And I started getting like all of it. Like all of the people who are trying to start a TikTok, I know, dude, that are, and good for them. They're out and proud and out and loud about it. And,
of course.
And I don't think these were like advocates for otherly abled people, but they were just like, this is my TikTok account. I'm doing what I want. But I mean, it was no longer music oriented, and it was very, I was like, oh no, I've gone down the wrong road here. Not the wrong road, but not the road that I'm trying to go down on this. Don't go down on them. No, let's not say that. But by the way, Mark Norman has the best joke on that there is a Victoria's Secrets model with Down syndrome. I'm a fan. I support that. I would go downs on her. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, that's the appropriate reaction. Yeah.
It was funny. Anyway, so yeah, this kind of turned my TikTok around, and I was like, oh no, I need to then and how you do that, by the way. So if you want to know how you do that, you start searching certain things. You search for like new music or a brand new song or a new sound or whatever your niche is. Yeah. Or niche. What do you say? Niche or niche?
I say niche. Because it's not.
You say niche?
It's a French word, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah. So it's not niche, so the rules don't apply.
But Gonzalez is a Spanish word, and go Gonzalez. Normally.
But But if you ask the person whose last name is Gonzalez, that's how they're going to say it, right?
Right. But okay, like here's a good example: Galapagos, Galapagos.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Galapagos, because I'm an ignorant slut.
By the way, we have a street here called Galapagos. So.
But if somebody was to correct me, I would say, okay, that's the way it's pronounced now.
I'll say it how you want. Yeah. But
okay.
niche. I don't know.
But I also grew up in a different country. It's not a cookie, it's a biscuit, and go fuck yourself.
That's true.
It's football, not soccer.
I can't wait to have some crisps tonight with my burgers. What is a burger in the UK?
A burger. Hamburger.
I mean in Scotland, not
beef burger. Hamburger.
Look how woke we are. We know Scotland's not in the UK. I know that.
It is in the UK. It's just not part of...
It's in Great Britain.
It's in Great Britain,
right?
Yeah.
It's not in the UK.
No, Scotland is still part of the United Kingdom.
It is?
As far as I know. Somebody will correct me on this. I'm from there, so but I left when I was relatively young. So, but as far as I know, the United Kingdom is all of the countries all together, right? The Isle is called Britain, right? That's right. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I may be completely wrong.
I'm just saying, I know someone in Scotland, and they will just tell me that it's Scotland. Like don't say it.
Okay,
it's Scotland.
Let's see. I will Google it while you're telling me about why I should pronounce things Galapagos.
I know. It's just weird. God, it's just been a fucking week, man.
Why?
It's been a week. Do you see this? Like I'm at that point now to where I might. It may
the
be time to
United
grow
Kingdom
a beard.
has been made up of 4 countries: England, Scotland, and Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Northern Ireland, yes.
So I technically was correct.
No, hold on. You said England is made up of 4 countries?
The United Kingdom is made up of 4 countries. England,
but not England.
Scotland, Wales. England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland.
Now do that search for Great Britain.
Great Britain is Scotland part of Great Britain?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, Great Britain, therefore, is a geographic term referring to the island known as simply Britain. It's a political term.
Thank you very much.
It's part of that's
so
what I said.
Wales vagina. We can agree to disagree.
Isn't this what I said?
All right, San Diego. We can
it's a Wales vagina. What's the line from? Milwaukee, Algonquin for the good land. Alice Cooper. Anyway.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
Okay, so why has it been a week? You say it's been a motherfucker.
Oh, I'm just I've been back on my sync shit. Like I want to get into more of the creating sync and trying to get more back into brief flows again after a while of doing catalog stuff. So there's a whole lot of different parts of sync. There's catalog sync, there's production sync, there's kind of anthemic cue sync, which goes into sports programming. And so I've been trying to get my contacts back in order and by the way, contacts change all the time.
Yeah.
If you're a sync agent, a lot of times, which I'm a sync agent and also a producer writer. And so it's hard to balance those two because I certainly do not pitch my music all the time. Mm-hmm. But I've been back into the thing of like, I would like to get back into writing more for sync. Specifically into briefs. Yeah. And
so you've been opening those emails more often?
And of course, when I do that, strike hits. And and it's not that there isn't any work out there in sync. There is. There's a lot of but a lot of editors aren't working on being. They're not working with the producers. If the producers are working for the major studios. Yeah. Because it's kind of a solidarity issue. It's like right now, you're going to start seeing podcasts that come out this week with SAG actors and with some writers that have movies coming out that will not discuss the movie. Mm-hmm. So they're not promoting the movie that's already in the can, already done, it's already finished. Yeah. Because it's sort of in solidarity with the strike. Yeah. Because you're basically working for the man, for the studio. Mm-hmm. And you're starting to see that filter down the credits list, down to sub-producers into the music editors and the music supervisors. Not that the music supervisors aren't doing anything right now. There's a lot of, there's a lot of work that's been on the shelf that you need to go back into post-production and make sure it's all cleared. And so there's still going to be work. And TV uses a lot of non-union actors for advertising. Plenty of non-union people are working in advertising, especially for like online ads and things like that. And of course, there's always sports production and sort of live television production that happens. And so they always need bumpers. But it sucks because trying to build that up again with the briefs. So if people don't know what I'm talking about with briefs, a lot of times with briefs, you get into sort of a flow with music supervisors or producers to where you get the thing that they want, and it gives you examples of songs they want it to sound like. It tells you the territory. It tells you like how long it's going to be. It tells you whether they want female vocals, what kind of a style it's going to be, all of these sort of things. And so it's really easy to write to. You're not just writing a song you think would be good for sync. You're writing a song that someone is asking for. And it can always be used if they don't take it. Those are, if it was asked for once, it probably will be asked for again. And so it's kind of another level of sync that you get to where you're not just submitting to libraries or emailing your sync agents or supervisors and going, what do you need? It's sort of like, this is what I fucking need, and I need it by 9:00 tonight. And so that kind of stuff. But it's just a bad time for it right now to get back into that flow. But we're working on it. It's just frustrating. And it's frustrating because I know a lot of people in the industry, and when you get into the sync world, you will start understanding this, that you get close to supervisors and producers, and therefore sometimes directors, and therefore sometimes, the actors who are involved in it, and you feel for everyone that's on strike. Look, I think it's been over a month now. They're going to go back to the table in the next week or so. But it's brutal. It's brutal out there in LA, and it's brutal. There's some people that are hurting. Most actors, and God, Jesus, almost all of the writers are not rich.
Yes, I agree with that.
And so, and don't have, a 4-month runway of savings to live off of, especially when you don't know what's coming next. Because so I was talking to someone about this last night, that the problem is not even like, there is a fund that's helping some of the WGA and SAG-AFTRA people. But, that runs out, and it's only for kind of the worst of the needs. That isn't necessarily the problem right now with the strike, like with what you're going to do this week or whatever. I do know of an actor who's on a television show you've seen on a streamer who is doing Uber at night and the strike line in the morning. And he's on a television show. And he's like, yeah, man, this is what we got to do. But that's not the deal. It's not getting through this part, because you can always pick up gigs and stuff like that. The deal is like, once the union contract is ratified, how long is it going to be before this like filters into writers' rooms, into new production schedules? Like, even if you can get the next auditions for the next job, that may not shoot for 4 months. And you're still in a regular year cycle of production where it's like, it's not like a lot of shows are starting to shoot in September. Normally those are done. So, and there's going to be a backlog, but it's just like, for the actors and especially for the writers, they don't know what that next gig is going to look like. I mean, hopefully they'll get the right pay and all of that, but how long that lasts, you don't know.
That's a difficult part.
Sorry, do you have any questions about that?
No, I just, here's the thing. I a lot of people, like, when they watch the strikes, like, they'll get this idea that it's a whole bunch of fucking millionaires yelling at billionaires about how they're not making any more millions, which is actually not what it's about. And the fact of the matter is this does affect our industry as musicians, because you and I both still stand on the platform that if you want to make your money back from your recording, the best way to do it is still sync. Right? So,
especially over a long period of time, royalties. You want to build up a royalty catalog.
Exactly. And it's, and that's mailbox money is living the dream. And that is exactly what this strike is really, part of this is about the idea that after a certain point, you know, like the residuals and all that kind of stuff kind of, you know, dries up to a point where it's like, you know, over a certain amount of time, you made, you know, $12 an hour on that thing, you know?
Yeah. And the residuals aspect of it is, just so everybody kind of understands, is that residuals weren't built into the last contract with streaming. Mm-hmm. Because they were like, oh, well, we're not sure how this is going to work, how many people are going to watch, how we can measure how many times the show was watched, even though they knew damn well how they were going to do that. They have play counts, you know, all of that. But before, residuals were based on, you know, if you hit 100 episodes and you went into syndication, the show was bought into syndication. There's a certain amount of times it's going to play on a TV network. And the TV network had like basically a blue sheet that says, here's how much advertising we're making on that, how much we paid you for that show. And they could divide the residuals that way amongst the actors and the writers and stuff. And now with streaming, that hasn't been built in, and they want to keep it that way. And keep it low. And that's not cool. That is not cool. You need good residuals on streaming because so many people don't even have cable anymore.
Yep. I don't have cable. I don't think you have cable, do you?
I do, but that's because because of all the audio and the video, I have to have like the big ass broadband.
Oh, so you get the cable for free, essentially.
Basically, yeah. Like what's all of the internet? How much is all of the internet?
Yeah.
That's what I need. And they're like, oh, well, with that you get a phone. Don't need a phone. Okay, well, you also get all of the HD channel. I don't need that.
Don't need that
care.
either. Yeah.
And they're like, okay, but you have to, or it's going to be double.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fucking
whatever.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to get off of it. We're supposed to be getting Google Fiber in the area soon.
We have fiber optic in the neighborhood at the house, which is why this video quality is exceptional. But
it is.
We had one day it just stopped working. Like one Sunday morning, it was just like, not working. And it turns out that we had some pretty juicy hailstorms at the beginning of July.
Yeah.
And they'd fucked up a box around here, and they sent a bunch of dudes down my alley, you know, that are getting that, you know, there's like 4 specialists in Denver that can do this job. And so they're backlogged for like weeks and weeks and weeks on all this shit. And they sent the guy up with the spikes in his boot up the tower in the backyard. And he, you know, he's yelling. I could see him. He's like, hey, your yard looks good, man. Thanks. Don't fall. Yeah.
Thanks,
they had to
buddy.
They had to rerun a line into my house as well. But I'm still
personally
fascinated.
think internet should be socialist.
Yeah,
I think cities should provide internet
for everyone.
For everyone, yeah.
How far out does that go out into the suburbs?
Yeah, well, wherever the lines are, like we already subsidized it. When Jones Intercable or all those cable people, like way back in the day, started digging the lines or rolling it on electrical lines, cities already paid for it. And then you're also paying the city tax on it and all the rest of it. But like in a bunch of countries around the world, like Estonia has amazing internet, and it's for free for everybody.
Wow.
Denver was looking at this plan to like kind of provide it.
I remember this. Yeah. I remember this.
It should be provided, though. Like it's an economic thing.
I will say this. For about a week and a half while that was down, we got Starlink satellite internet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So your face was going to space for a week and a half, and it was fucking good, man. I was shocked at how good it was.
Yeah.
Little satellite dish that out back, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I'm down with whatever. I personally, like, I've always thought that everyone should have their own personal internet. Mm-hmm. Like, think about that. You pay for internet that comes into your house, and then you pay for internet that's on your phone. Yeah. And then you are basically paying for it somehow when you're using someone else's Wi-Fi. Like, why don't you have your own personal internet? I remember I had that little MiFi from Verizon, like years and years ago. Yeah. And when I worked down on the ranch in Texas, it was the only internet we had. They had dial-up. Yeah. And try to play Xbox with dial-up.
I don't even want to think about video game.
You can't even hear the racist kids on there.
Oh man!
But I'd be out in the middle of the wilderness with that MiFi, dialing up stuff and doing. I was running a music startup thing that was happening then, and it was. I just think that we should all have our own internet. There you go. Get on that, people. Get on that, Congress.
yeah,
Come on, Biden. Dark Brandon, where's your internet? Although I think that is part of the infrastructure bill. Which, by the way, thank you for passing that. That's going to be good.
I just find that all of that very, very funny. Okay, I want to ask something about this this WGA and the SAG-AFTRA strike. One of the things that keeps coming up is this. I think one of the reasons that we're talking about streaming residuals, we're talking about all this stuff because the contracts really haven't been really worked over in quite some time, right?
Yeah.
And we're now pushing into this territory where, quote unquote, Chat GPT, or I'm going to use the term AI, don't at me or punch me, can write a script for you based on a spec, like a prompt, right? And we're also looking at the potential of, 3D body scans of actors, and they can use them in places where they actually don't. And the contract said something about them being able to do that for free without having to pay the actor for their likeness.
Yeah, they pay them 1 day rate to come
in and
one
day rate. Yeah, come in and scan, and then they can use it in perpetuity, right?
Yeah.
That was the idea, and it's like, fuck you now. I mean, if they want to pay me $12 billion to use my likeness for the rest of the time, I would think about it, but also the amount of branding, that's associated with actors, and especially actors on like the elite level, like your Tom Cruises and your Meryl Streeps and that kind of. I put Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks together, and Tom Cruise. So Meryl
Streep does her own stunts. I don't know if you knew that.
Totally. She I heard she just rode a motorcycle off of a cliff recently.
That's right. Yeah. Pretty exciting.
7 times. What a fucking loon. I love it. I love that he does that. He's just like, he's like, he's like, I've got the, what's the name of the volcano living god in Scientology? He's got the shield of Zool or something.
Oh yeah.
Or some shit like that. I don't know.
All I know is he is clear.
Yeah, he is clear.
That motherfucker is clear. No, there's a bunch of these little parts of the contract that are horrible. The one that I find really offensive also is along the AI generation thing, is that they want to do that to extras.
Yeah.
So for background actors, is that you would just kind of create those people, and you don't need to have a close-up of their face. A lot of times it's gauzed out or it's out of focus.
Yeah.
And that they could just fill in the background with extras. And boy, wouldn't that be easy? A lot less money for craft services, a lot less money like for the audition calls for people to come out. I've been an extra a few times.
I've never been in extras. Which episode were you in?
No.
Oh, sorry. No, that one.
An extra.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah, and so those are the opening salvos, right? This is a union contract negotiation, and there are people that know this far better than I do, and I would encourage you to go look at Adam Conover. He's the guy from Adam Ruins Everything.
Yeah.
He is really on the ground level of this, and a very good union kind of guy who has a good grasp of all the issues. But so when you hear all those things, you just got to understand that's the opening salvo of the studios, right?
Yeah.
And then you're supposed to negotiate that back and say something like, okay, we might do that, but you have to ask prior permission, and we will get residuals if you use my AI generated face or likeness, right? Yeah. That's what they're hoping for. Instead of actors coming back and going, that's a no. So take that off. And then the negotiator comes back and goes, well, okay, well, then what will you give us to take that out? So all of those things are
negotiating tactics.
Yeah, it's all negotiating tactics, and we'll see how it all shakes out. I'm against all of that shit.
Yeah, me too.
It's a people industry.
Yeah.
Look, it's very much like the music industry that's happening in this way with AI generation music and tools.
Yeah.
And basically there was a study that came out yesterday that said something like 31% of independent musicians are already using AI generation in their workflow. Mm-hmm. But again, that's in the aggregate. It's like, what does that fucking mean?
Yeah.
Like an AI generated part of your track could absolutely be Guitar Rig, the plugin.
Yeah.
You're not using real reverb.
Yeah.
That's AI, right?
Yeah.
Like all of that is
I'm going to need you to put quotation marks around AI every time.
I know. We're just going to say it. We're just going to say it.
Okay.
I lost that argument day 2.
Yeah, but to who? You didn't lose.
I lost it to someone I know in the startup community who was investing in LLMs.
Okay.
And I was there like, yeah, we're just going to call it AI because it's easier. People don't understand
LLMs. I
LLMs.
agree with that piece, but I don't think you lost the argument. I think that you were beaten into submission.
Yeah, I gave up more.
That's true.
It's kind of like an argument with a lover. It's like, is this worth it?
No.
We're going to argue about this the whole time?
No. The chicken was fine. I promise you. It's okay. I wouldn't have rather had the steak. The chicken was fine.
And they're like, it's poultry. Call it poultry. Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll just call it poultry.
But it's a Cornish game hen. It's, this poor little dead fucker that I'm eating has a name.
Man. But I think that it's all part and parcel. This is really an important fight for all workers. It's an important fight for all creators. Yeah. The studios have something in their back pockets where they think, look, TikTok, Instagram Reels, people on YouTube, we got creators. We can make shows.
Yeah.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Not things like, not cultural changing shows like The Bear or Game of Thrones or a Barbie movie, where it's so much more than writing and acting. It's and it's all the people below the line, right? It's everybody that's involved, from the gaffer to the people that do costumes to the people that do sound design to Foley. Yeah. All of it works together. And I hope that the seriousness of having the WGA joined by SAG-AFTRA is a really big deal. Like to have the two of them doing it. It's been I think it was like since 1960 something, 50 something. Yeah. And look, there needs to be a rebalancing. And but when I say that it's kind of like the music industry, and I've heard this from plenty of people in sort of Hollywood. Yeah. No one saw my air quotes there, but that is because Hollywood also is the Netflix center in New Mexico. Hollywood is also part of the sound stages in New York, and it's all of those things. But all of those people that run like studios and platforms and things, they're rarely a writer, producer, actor, director. They are money men that need to make quarterly. Yeah.
They've got their shareholders to report to.
Yeah, and they make very quick decisions. It's not an artistic thing. It's about money, and it should be. It is a business. I get that. But in the development side, those people just rarely understand everything that goes into a production, and how writing has nothing to do with writing. Like writing isn't. I've written scripts. I've been a writer on a few things, and like writing isn't about the writing of the script. It's about the character arc. It's about the story arc. It's about keeping the world in order. And like, so even if you can write a script, there's going to be a question about, well, why does she say this here? Didn't she mention that in the first scene? And you're like, oh no, because later on in the story, there's this little foreshadowing that happens. That is part of writing, is understanding the whole world building. And AI will not be able to do that. ChatGPT will not be able to do that. We're just going to get shittier stories. Yeah,
I agree with that 100%. And the choices that you go further with the writing, the choices that the individual makes in that moment, that is something that we are nowhere near. You take somebody's likeness and you put them in there and you have it do whatever it's going to do, you're still not getting the person that would make that decision. You're still not getting Daniel Day-Lewis living as Abraham Lincoln while he's shooting the movie. That makes a fucking difference.
Yeah. And something really quick to touch on here. This goes to musicians as well, in the top end of things. Yeah. When you hear about millionaire writers, millionaire actors, millionaire musicians, it's the same all the way around. Whatever number you hear, I've mentioned this before at a conference, and lawyers love me for this, by the way. But whatever number you hear, they get about half of that. If that, actually, it's actually less than that, because pretty much everyone in that system, and you can love it or hate it, you can not like how it works, but there are managers, there are agents, there are lawyers, There are then your business assistants.
Yeah.
And then there are California taxes or New York taxes.
Yeah.
And so whatever number you hear, if you take $1 million that someone made this year, they got signed to a movie or a TV show or whatever, 10 episodes at $100,000 a piece or whatever. You can take 10% off of that for the agent. You can take 15% off of that for the manager. You can take another 5% off of that for legal. You can take another 5% off of that for administration, which is basically sort of your business administrator that oversees all of this. And then you can take probably about 45% off of that for taxes.
Yep.
And so by the end of it, whatever number you hear, like even Tom Cruise doing a $20 million movie, he's only making $10 million.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds ridiculous to say, but like now throw it down to your favorite TV show on a streamer, and that actor is making $700,000, and why should I cry for them? Okay, well, I get it, but they're actually making about $287,000.
Yeah, for
and like that person lives in a
fucking
fucking 1-bedroom apartment in Burbank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's what that looks like. We know people that work in these studios. They don't live in rich houses, and to live in LA is really hard.
Yeah. And did you see, I don't know if you saw this, but I just read this recently that Jason Momoa, Aquaman, a man I am deeply in love with. He just doesn't know.
That poor guy. I mean, if he would just take a little time to work on himself a little bit, he would look better.
Yeah.
And he's so close. He's a great actor.
Yeah,
but
he's so good. Just really, his body is just so terrible. You know,
he got a bad shake.
Yeah, man, like it's pity about his face.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
Yes, please. Anytime you would like to carry me off the beach,
yes,
I will take it. No, he's pretty much, if you look at him, he looks like a Viking nomad. And I remember reading a story after he and Lisa Bonet split up that he was living in a van. Now, I don't think he had to live in a van, but I think he made a choice to, because I think it's like at a certain point in time you go, fuck how much I'm paying to not own any of this.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and for an actor,
how
much you're paying to not live there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like one of these actors that I know, he had to go do a shoot in Thailand. Yay, that's awesome. Good for him, right? He gets to go do that.
Yeah.
But he has a house in Silver Lake.
Yeah.
And, you know, so if you're in Thailand for 4 months on a shoot, who's going to watch your house? Who's going to watch your dog? Yeah. How much money are you paying in property taxes? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like at a certain level, that's the kind of shit you deal with. But like, but at a certain level, it's very hard to deal with that. And so it makes sense to rent, and then like just then you don't have a home, and you come back from a big movie shoot, and you're like, I got to find a place to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, and then like where you're going to live, if you're of any, you know, if someone knows who you are. Yeah. You know, and again, this goes back to the like, they seem like millionaires, and I'm not saying cry for them. I'm just saying temper your feelings about like how rich and wealthy and privileged they are. Like a lot of those people, like that gal still shops at Trader Joe's or still shops at Vons, and still has to deal with some gal that comes up and goes, I saw your Netflix show. How are you? And they just want to shop, and they just want to grab their pineapple and go, you know? And, you know, that sucks. Yeah. You're not rich enough to be anonymous. Yeah. You know, and then you move into an apartment and like your neighbor is a huge fan. Yeah. That's an issue.
Yeah. Yeah. He's always at my front door with a cup of sugar.
Totally. Always asking.
Always asking.
What do you guys do? You gonna come down to this? Gonna come down to the pool later? Or?
God, yeah. Yeah, I can't imagine that. I've often said this. There was a couple of bands I was in my earlier 20s, mid-20s that had quite the had the possibilities of going to, shall we say, the next plane of existence, the next level, you know? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, there was some, you know, there'd be things coming in. I thought, at 29, I'm 29 now.
Yes, of course. Yes.
You know, I mean, this is, you know, just a few years ago. But, you know, at my age now, I look back on all that stuff and I think about what would my life look like if any of that had worked out. And I think I would be way less content with things if they had gone that way, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think that level of success would have, really. I mean, that wouldn't have benefited me or pleased me in any way. I'm quite happy having the level of success I've had and not had to have that level of,
notoriety,
public presence. Yeah, notoriety. Yeah, that's a good word. And I mean, even when I've had opportunities to go tour with national acts or go play with them, and hey, we need a guitar player for the next 2-3 years, I've sometimes even said no to that just because it's like I don't want to go do that. I'd much rather make the stuff I want to make, play the things I want to play, and I've been really lucky to be able to do that. I will tell you this: when I was dating my second wife, my second ex-wife, I have 2 of those.
Drink.
We were. I had a Pink Floyd tribute called "Wish We Were Floyd" that had played at Red Rocks.
One of the best bands ever.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. That was a really, really fun project. We had just a absolutely stellar cast of musicians in that.
I almost ruined your life with that project.
By taking it to Vegas?
Yes, the Hard Rock.
Hard Rock, that's right.
That would have been an awesome residency. It still would have been good. Okay.
It still would have been good. You know what's funny is I play at the Hard Rock every year right now for... no, not at the Hard Rock. I play at the House of Blues. I play at the Hard Rock in Orlando.
Yeah.
With another project. But we just played at Red Rocks, and I just started dating my second ex-wife. I have 2 of those. Ding,
drink.
Man, that Foley work is exceptional. I mean, that's magnificent. So we're out on
Kelsey,
a date.
Stop burping. Okay.
We're gonna talk about Kelsey in a minute. But I'm out on this date, and we're out in a bar down the street from my house. It's kind of a spring summer evening. We're sitting outside on the patio, and she's asking me questions. She's actually met me at a show I'd played, and I was telling her, I said, one of the things I really like about, I don't have any urge to go any bigger than this. That's what she said. I said, and the reason is because I can sit here with you right now and have this conversation and not have anybody bother me. I don't like the idea of being out on a date and somebody goes, hey, I don't mind people enjoying my music. That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about being able to have a little bit of anonymity and a little bit of privacy, especially when I'm courting a young lady. And it's funny because I'm sitting there having this conversation, and we're talking, and I look, and there's a guy walking towards me, and he goes, "Excuse me." Yeah. And he goes, "Are you the guitar player for Wish We Were Floyd? Because we were just at the show on Tuesday night. You guys were amazing." I was like, and of course she looks at me and she goes, "Did you set that up?" I'm like, No, of course not. I did not set that up at all. But it's like, and that's why it was doomed, because apparently I was assumed to be a liar from that point in time. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. Narcissism.
Oh my God, we got to write that song now.
Yeah, I know. I think that Jim Jeffries had a really good line about this, that everyone wants to be rich and famous, and being rich and famous is awesome. Being rich and fucking famous is awesome. But you know what's not awesome? Being poor and famous.
Ooh.
That's the worst. Mm-hmm. And he had a whole thing where he had a bad deal, but he had... so he owed money to a bunch of things before and to different labels about his albums. But he was known on HBO specials and on all these things. And I know a few of those people who have been very famous and have been very rich, and they are not rich anymore. Yeah. And
can't touch this.
That just sucks, and I mean, again, I know that people don't care. Most people would be like, whatever, I never had a chance. But you don't know that until you meet some people who've gone through it, and you're like, that is just so much more brutal than never having made it at all.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. I agree with that. I also think that it's important to remember, I don't give a shit what anybody's status is. Somebody's always struggling or working through something. Yeah. And you just try to be kind to everybody. That's about all you can do. Because in that situation, if I was in that situation, I would want somebody to be kind to me.
Yeah, yeah.
So just
and
just
live appreciative
like that.
of your work. I mean, we're going to start seeing this with YouTubers and TikTokers and stuff. People who have built influencer brands, and then age out of it or have a kid or or whatever, and they're not hot anymore. And like they were like, at one point I had 4 million subscribers on YouTube that watch me every week, and now they're your Uber driver. And that's okay. That's okay. True. You should and appreciate what you got, but like it's just not an easy thing to crack, and it's not easy for actors or writers or musicians and for that matter, it's not easy for influencers. I think a lot of those people are going to start feeling that crush as well.
Well, I think there's this other piece of this. Like if I talk to most musicians or most artists, I'm making a generalization here. The goal is I want to hit single. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, do you want to hit single or do you want a lifelong career? Because those are two different things.
Yeah.
Because one of them requires a whole lot of luck, and one of them requires intent. And I can't manage luck, but I can manage intent. So if you intend to be a full-time working musician, you should, it requires some, maintenance and upkeep and consistency. Just like any diet, workout plan, anything you're going to do as a human, if you really want to make some changes or, really strive towards your goals, making small steps every single day will make a bigger difference than making one giant leap for mankind. So, with regards to all of these people that are currently working in, Hollywood or, these YouTube influencers, I think most people are looking to do something consistently that gives them a sense of purpose and helps them feel good about themselves every single day. Not everybody's looking for that one smash and then I'm going to retire.
Yeah, but I also think that there's a different definition of what a hit is now and what that one smash is that like you kind of do need that moment to continually grow. You know, and especially as a musician in the music game, in the music trade, you do need to Justin Hawkins rides again. But you absolutely do need to, like, if you try to build. I explained this before to a few people, I think, on one of the little groups or whatever. But it's like you can want to make little incremental changes and like you were saying. Get better every day and do a little bit more, get more fans. But honestly, that doesn't work for music for a long time. Like, because if you're only gaining 5 fans a week, you're not going to have enough fans by the time you're 60 to sell 10,000 records or to have 4 million streams a month, whatever that number is that sustains your lifestyle. At some point, you do have to reach above yourself and jump. You got to jump a little bit in the numbers and in monthly listeners if you're playing the streaming game or whatever. Or if you're doing sync, you got to get a good, solid, big placement. Your little, MTV 40 cues a show thing won't work. You need to get a network show. You got to get a big movie at some point. And so for the real money to work, for it to be a career. And so I do understand chasing the hit. I do understand that a little bit. Yeah. But that doesn't change anything you do. I still think that you need to have that realistic point of view about like growing as a musician, as a person, as a professional, because that's what makes you need to follow that up with a solid song, with a solid tour, instead of, I'll just wait another year and get another viral hit, because that ain't going to happen.
But I think that's kind of what I think we're saying the same thing. I think it's just, but I think that yes, you're consistently trying to reach past where you are. Yeah. But consistently doing that, not just looking for that one thing. Yeah.
Look for those opportunities and take advantage of them. Yes. Which brings us to this point about. There was so we had kind of a question and a topic, and then I had a story that happened a few weeks ago or last week that I wanted to bring up on the music side. And that was basically like, how best does a band take advantage of that one big opportunity? Like they get it open for somebody. And that was the question that was sent to 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com. And it was like, so how do we take advantage of that as a band? We got an opportunity to do this big show. Okay. So I was helping out a band on the West Coast who got to open for a hero act of theirs. They were doing support. So not opener, like their support, just one act, then the big guy. And this was, I'm not going to mention who it is because the band and I don't work together anymore after this, and you'll understand why.
Okay. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think I know where this is going.
There's a little bit of a rant coming. Imagine that, Michael.
Okay, let me get my seatbelt on.
Old guy rant. Canes.
Old man rant.
This is a band that is one of those bands from like the 80s and the 90s that is lead singer name of band name from the 80s. Okay, I'm glad you got that. So lead singer name of band name from the 80s or 90s. And they're out on the road and they're doing like theater gigs. You know, they're not selling out arenas or whatever, but they're playing pretty good venues or theaters. This was a theater, and this band got this gig. Well, they emailed me the next day. I knew about it. I knew it was happening because they did mention it, and they were horrible at trying to sell tickets to it.
Oh, dear.
But they basically mentioned it and then said, hey, so we did the show last night. It was great. It was a packed theater. You know, I think it was 1,500 people, 1,000 people, something like that. It was really good. And the band that they were playing, that they were opening for, was huge. You know, and they're in the middle of a tour that's doing very well. And they're like, so basically they're asking me, so like, how do I take advantage of it? Exactly the same thing as this email, basically. And like, how do we capitalize on it? They're like, should we ask the manager if we can open for them again? Like in the next city. And I'm like, no, they've probably got that handled. Right, so
they probably had it handled 4 months ago.
Yeah,
6 months
exactly.
ago.
And the way these happen, by the way, if you're interested in doing these, you play those venues in your local area. You get to know the booker and the manager of those venues, and you're like, hey, by the way, if you ever need like a last minute support act and a last minute opening slot, bands in town, we totally will do it.
I got you, boo. Yeah,
that's exactly what happened here.
Yeah.
But basically, they already had that slotted in. Probably someone fell out, which is the reason why this band got it, you know?
Yeah.
So
that's fair.
Don't call them up and ask them if you can join the tour. That is a rookie fucking move.
Yeah.
But do take a few days and then email the manager that you met at the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you email the manager at the show and you go, you know, don't make it long. Just say, hey, we had a great time and, you know, really, this was a hero moment of ours. We loved opening up for the band, and anytime you need something, let us know.
Yeah.
Just thank them. That's all.
Yeah.
Just as short as possible.
Yeah.
Don't ask for anything. Just let them know you're open, right?
Yep.
So then they're like, well, we didn't get the manager's number or contact. I'm like, wait a minute. You opened for a hero act, and you didn't get their manager's number.
That was the sound of me slapping my own forehead.
Oh, my God. I was like, okay, well, here's what you can do. So forget about that. You need to take all the video that you shot of the person that you had do the video or the people that you had do photos.
I know what's
show.
coming next. This is going to make me so uncomfortable, isn't it?
Are you cringing yet?
I'm already cringing.
I'm going to actually read you part of the email here. I'm going to say, okay, here's what to do next. Take all the video you shot and edit down a bunch of 30-second clips for socials, different songs, maybe 20 clips over the next month you can release. Not sure how many camera angles you had, but try to do the isolated member cuts and the band stage shot. Tag the band and thank them, and their fans will see it too. Right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I was like, pick the best ones and then edit a minute one for your EPK on your YouTube and make sure to include showing that big crowd, the big crowd shots, right? But I'd start with the pictures you had taken just to share for your fans who weren't there or didn't know.
I'm clutching my pearls.
Okay, and then I said, once you hear the mix from the board, decide which songs are good enough and do a quick release of the live record. If it's an EP or even a few singles, that's fine. You don't need to do the whole show. But like, do not mention the band in the release. Do not mention it on song titles. Just do a quick and dirty distro. And if you don't have time for all that nonsense, just send out an email to your fans and ask them to reply to receive a free single. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, this is the live song from last night when we opened for band singer name of 80s band name. I was like, and you can just do an MP3 or you can load it on your Bandcamp for free and then just do a cut of the video with the live sound for YouTube. It sounds like an awesome show. Well done to all of you, right? So the reply I get back is, what do you mean the mix? Do we ask the venue for that? Oh, Jesus Christ.
I just, yeah.
So I said, no, you didn't get the mix from the board? And they were like, no. Okay, no problem. Forget the live album. Use the video and edit to the master, and then use your master recordings of your own album to put against the video that you had. And you can just put out a nice little promo song. Won't that be great? Doesn't matter if the words don't match completely. It's going to be fine. Don't worry. Video.
Yeah.
We didn't get video.
I'm turning I can't do it anymore. The headphones are off. Like fucking hell. Hey.
I said, what? All right, well, you could use the live photos you had taken and do a moving carousel to make it a video. I think you can even fucking do that in Facebook if you're unsure how. Be careful if the other band's logo is in it, although I imagine you had the logo projected behind you of your band, but make sure to edit theirs out if you didn't.
No, I can't.
If you can't do that, I know someone who can help. And here's the answer. Do we ask the venue for those photos? Wait, let me get this straight.
But wait, there's more.
I say, wait, let me get this straight. You played one of the biggest shows of your fucking career, opening up for a legendary hero band of yours to a sold-out theater, and you didn't get the manager's info. You didn't throw a few $100 or even ask friends to get quality video or quality photos or get a live mix from the board. Is that what I'm hearing? They respond with, I guess. Well, you're fucked. Who cares? If you don't care enough about your band to do that, why should anyone else care? Seriously, just do a stupid post that says, what a great night. So this is the way the email ends, and this is basically the way the relationship with that band ended. By the way, if that band is listening, I love you. I do. You can fix this the next time you do it, but not with me. But, you know, there will be somebody else out there that helps you. But... This is the last thing they said to me. Shit. We'll see if the booker will give us the manager's contact info.
Yeah. I'm in pain right now. And you've left. You've gone. You're out. You're like... I don't know.
Kelsey's under a blanket.
Oh, is she asleep again?
She's not even in a band, and she knows how bad this is.
Yeah. That's really... Okay, so I will say this. Depending on I'm going to give a little bit of grace to them for a second.
Yes, let's
because depending on the age of the performer, I have an idea of who this is.
Okay.
And I'm 106% sure I'm right. So, depending on the age of this performer, this is probably all new information because at the time he was... Or she, I apologize. I mean, the time they were performing that level of show, the label and the venue had all that taken care of, and they didn't have to worry about it. Yeah. So I can understand a little bit of confusion with regards to doing that. Now, at any point in time, a modern day manager of that band should know better.
First of all, that email should have been from the manager.
Yeah.
Not a member of the band. Like, hey, man, how do we take care of this?
Unless that member of the band is managing. And if that's the case, then that's should probably learn how to manage.
Basically what was happening. And they wanted me to manage them. And you know how I am with managing bands. Like,
Yeah. Nobody likes you afterwards.
Yeah. I will, but, like, I'm not going to work harder. Every manager that I've ever known, every music manager that I've ever known says this, and it's true. I cannot work harder than all of the members of the band. And if that is the case, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And most bands actually want a helper. They don't want a real manager. Yeah, they want someone to help them with booking. Well, that's a booking agent. They want someone to help them with promo and social. Well, that's a social media manager. They want someone, you know, it's all that other shit instead of like contract negotiation, transportation, you know, brand extension, and like bunch of crap that managers
do. Tour manager does different shit than your band manager.
Most
and the
bands
band manager
that want a
manages
manager, they don't understand. If you have a real manager, that means at some point the band will have to do something they don't want to do. That means you have a manager. Because a manager goes, hey, listen, this is the thing. Here's what we're going to do. This is why you have to do it. This is what we're doing. And the band's like, well, that's not what we would do. Great. I'm your manager. That's what you're fucking doing.
And I'm telling you to do this because it is what is best for you
exactly.
and your career.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I know what's best for you is because you don't know that's best for you.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
That's why I'm here.
So,
exactly.
okay, I will also give them a little bit of credit here that...
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to give them a little credit. Like, I'm going to pull back a little bit. I will give them a little bit of credit and, like, maybe they don't have their shit together. And like, listen, if you just wanted to play a dream show with that band...
That's fine. Yeah.
Lead singer name of band name of the 80s or 90s. That's fine. You know, tell your friends, have fun, get laid, have a few drinks, say you did that in your life, put it on your resume. Great.
Yeah.
Don't come asking me about your career if you didn't know that was a moment to record the show.
Yeah.
To get it to like, and listen, you guys, a few $100 takes care of this.
Yeah.
You can get anybody with an iPhone, with a Canon photo, video, just to get video of like 5 songs, not even the whole show.
Yeah.
You could pay the mixer you could throw the mixer $100 and he'll give you the pull of the board. If you don't have a Zoom recorder or you can't figure out how to download BandLab and hook up your laptop to an RCA or a quarter inch. There are 1,000 things. But I mean, this is something I bitch about with bands all the time. Like back in the day, it used to be damn near impossible to record your live shows, right? Like in my day, it was fucking expensive. You had to have your own like
we had a mobile truck.
Yeah. You had a mobile truck and like you had to have real cameras, all of that. And it's not going to be perfect. That's not the point.
Yeah.
But now everyone's got a phone that can shoot in 4K. Everybody's got iPads. You just take one of your old phones that's in a box and fire that fucker up and put it on an SD card, whatever. Rent one for the night. Call a photographer, call a videographer. Like, it is not hard to do this. And it's just a few $100 probably if you don't want to use your friends or your family or your roadies or whatever.
Yeah.
It can be done, and it's ridiculous. I've said it for a while. I don't understand why every band doesn't record every single live show. Every single one of them.
I understand not wanting to manage the catalog that you end up with. But
sure.
I think that there's a piece of it where it's like, if you want to know how to improve as a band, not improv, add the E. This is listen to those desk tapes.
Yeah. And also, what about those things where you had that night that one song was perfect?
Yeah, exactly.
And you just let it go because of $100?
Yeah.
Or because you didn't decide to go up and talk to the mixer and throw him $100 during sound check and go, hey, you mind if I plug in this quarter inch or these 2 stereo plugs?
There's a venue in Denver that it literally says on the board, on the front of house console, would you like me to record your show tonight?
Yeah.
Right? So just
mixers want the money.
Yeah, why not throw the guy $50, $75, $100 and take your fucking your data card with you or your
USB,
thumb drive. Most of these digital mixers have a way for you to export those files and record it directly to those things if you got it. A 32 gig little stick will do it for you now.
Dude, you can most of the digital boards, you can output it to GarageBand, to Logic, to any of the free shit, and you can get the stems basically. You can get separated stuff because if you hook it in with a USB and you basically just run it and, you have by the way, this is what you need to do that. Have someone go up there just before your show time. Yeah. Don't make the mixer press play, but you open up Logic, you open up whatever it is, and then you hit record. Like, have them hit record, so it's only recording for an hour or 2 or whatever. Yeah. Make sure it's plugged in, charged up, all of that. But, there is... And then, if you want to, you just set your phone off on the side of the stage for some crowd audio. Yeah. Or set up a separate mic. So one of the mixers we know, Mike Martinez, used to do this all the time. James... He used to put a mic on the side of the stage. You just got another 58 over there. Yeah, just capture the crowd. So you hear the crowd, so you can mix the crowd in. Because coming off the board, it's going to be dry, like it's dead. Yeah. But so you need to mix in crowd stuff. But I mean, you can go to any site and get crowd sound, you guys. Yeah, you can. I mean, what's his name? I can see his face. Eddie Kramer did that on Alive. Was it Alive and Alive 2, Kiss? That crowd is not real. Elton John, Benny and the Jets. Benny. Yeah. That's all a loop tape in it.
It's funny that because I have a I have a digital console that I use for corporate and wedding gigs, and it's also a USB interface. I've got 32 channels of audio that I can take anywhere I go. Yeah. So even if I wanted to, so I've got a couple of shows coming up where I'm using my own shit, and I just plug it into my laptop, and it runs it just fine.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I can record a full fucking band off a USB. What the hell? And
again, this isn't like your only live album you're going to record. You don't have to set it up perfectly. But God, if you get like a great track off of that, good. All of these things, by the way, are other content moments. Yes. Right? That's another content moment for your whole week. You don't just go, wow, what a show. We fucking kicked ass. Thanks for coming. No, you go, hey, this is this version of this. I mean, the Grateful Dead were doing this in the 70s, you guys.
I have a whole fuckload of Pearl Jam, tapes.
Go to nugs.net. You can get all of this shit.
But it's also this little bit of forethought, a little bit of thinking pre-cum, if you will, where you're welcome. Wow. Hey, I used cum gutters last week. I mean, I got to use that some this week. Just a little bit of forethought, and you have months of content.
Yeah.
Just with a little bit of thought. Like, we need to capture every single thing about this. Let's capture audio. Let's capture visuals. Let's make sure we've got meet and greet photos, and make sure we've got pictures with fans at the booth. Let's feature a fan and do a giveaway or whatever. If you see yourself, tag yourself, that kind of shit. You've got all this content.
Why are you not doing a live in the green room?
Yeah.
Why are you not doing a live on your way? Why aren't you doing like a little? I mean, I've seen you actually. Yeah. I've seen a few people do this. They're like, sound check. Here's a picture of my office tonight. We do think about this, and I do get it that you're like, oh, this is a really big important moment, and I want to be in the moment. That's fine. Then hire someone for $100. I mean, you're going to hire a merch person, so like hire someone for $100 to do all this. Hey, this is a big night. This is a big night. Make sure the video's going. Make sure the audio's going. Make sure that photographer's going. Pay the photographer so that you own some of those photos. You can't just use Dave Barber's.
Lens cap, Jeff.
So, it's just one of those things that it bugs the shit out of me because it's not about, again, it's not about making the perfect recording or the perfect video that you're going to monetize.
No,
Think about it as content that you're giving away. Give away the joy.
Yeah. Give away the joy.
But you're also, like, this is especially for these. Like, I'm not saying this is every bar gig, right? Like, this is for those venue moments, those theater moments. Like, treat it like a show, like it should be treated. And also, why the fuck would you not want that for posterity for you? Just do it for selfish reasons.
I've
seen these bands take better videos on vacation than opening up for band lead singer name of band name of the 80s. Sorry.
That's going to kill me every time.
I've seen better Instagram stories from the night that you went and ate dinner.
Yep. My God, look at that chocolate torte.
I mean, you should go do a bunch of fucking videos and pictures of that guitarist's gear setup. Ask him to take a picture of his pedal board.
Yeah.
Like little shit like that. It's seriously 3 seconds of your night.
Yeah.
And it also shows that you're interested in them. And let's be honest, what band doesn't like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember doing that with, I don't know if I still have it, but, Steve Lukather's pedal. I did a show, oh God, we're talking like 17 years ago with Toto.
Ooh,
and
another century.
No, not quite.
No, I guess it isn't. Jesus, it's not.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. That is how old we are.
Oh my God.
Oh my, another old man. And I remember taking his gear was up there, and I actually did ask his tech. I was like, "Can I take a photo of this?" And he was like, "Yeah, man. Luke doesn't give a shit." And I was like, okay. So I got a little photo of the whole fucking rig back there.
Yeah.
Wagner's. It was like, I was like, this is cool as fuck. That's Steve Lukather's shit right there.
Yes.
And I loved it. It's such a fucking magnificent, thing to be able to say that.
Have you ever met a guitarist? Okay, guitarist aside, have you ever met a guitar tech that doesn't want to share the board and the line. Of course they do. Like, that's the whole thing. I mean, ask him if you can post it, but like, definitely just ask if you can take it for yourself.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
But,
I mean, and I did that too, but it was just, I don't know. I think like that shit's important. Like, it's because I want to be, if I'm a fan of yours, I want to feel the excitement with you. I want to feel the joy with you. I want to be part of that with you.
Yeah.
And when something, I celebrate their entire collection.
Yes.
But I like if I see somebody doing something that brings them joy and happiness, that brings me joy and happiness, right?
Right.
And that's what I want to see.
Right.
Show me your joy.
That's and also, you know, make these shows different and separate. Like, I guess, you know, this is something I rant about all the time to people I work with is like, I'm not interested in seeing gigs. I am interested in seeing concerts.
Yes.
Make it a concert. And, you know, if it doesn't mean that gigs are bad. I've just seen a lot of them. And like I'm not as down for the gig. And but I am down for those moments, those concerts, those things that change people's lives that you remember forever. And there's a way to do that, and if your band doesn't care about it, why should your fans?
That's absolutely right.
Why should your fans? Seriously, it just blows my mind. So, anyway, good job. Lead singer name of band name from the 80s. Great tour, by the way. They're were great.
Taking their gerbs.
By the way, I looked up the other shows that they were doing, and their team's great.
Nice. There you go.
Pictures and video. They have They have teasers of all the shows. They actually redo it for every city. Yeah.
Nice.
It's good stuff.
There's a thing about that where you go like, if I hire somebody to do that job, I want them to know better than me what to do.
Yeah.
I need to be in control of the art a little bit, you know, like, but I am open to this idea that somebody might have an opinion that's better and more worthwhile than mine.
Yeah. So, but honestly, this is not rocket science, you guys. Rip people off. Go see what your bigger bands are doing. Watch what Taylor Swift is doing. Like, it is not that hard to realize that video and audio and photos are part of your spread as a musician now. And, like, that's what your fans want. May not be what you want, may not be what you're into, but you are on stage. It is a visual medium. You know, no one's sitting there listening to your recording. You're playing live. Capture it. Okay. Rant over. Old guy rant. Canes.
Old guy rant.
What are we doing here? Oh, Kelsey reminds me this is when we get to Sync of the Week.
That's spelled SYNC, short for synchronization.
Sometimes H. Again, this is back to niche and niche.
Is it spelled? I've never seen it spelled with an H.
Yeah, La Brit spelled.
Okay, how do you spell spelt? SPELLED or SPELT?
It's still ED, I believe. It's just that's different pronunciation. Shall we get into lieutenant?
Lieutenant, colonel, colonel.
It's something I deal with as a writer all the time with cancellation.
Yeah,
because depending on who I'm writing for, it's one L. Or it's two L's. Yeah. And I just, you know, that's just one of those things. Hey, language changes. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I don't use the H. I don't. I mean, it's synchronization, so there is an H, but here in our land, we do sync with no H. Drop the H. The H is silent, if you will.
That land is their land.
So, yeah. You want to do yours? You want me to do mine? What do you want to do?
I have finished The Bear season 2. Because I told you I watch one show at a time, and this will be my final sync of the week from The Bear because now I'm watching Good Omens.
Dose.
Yeah.
I just finished it.
Oh, don't say a fucking word.
I'm not even going to do any syncs from it.
I'm a massive Neil Gaiman fan, and I love the book as well. So
don't worry, that sync's coming up.
Fantastic. But okay, so this is the summer of AC/DC, because in episode 9 of the second season of The Bear, guess what song they had placed during a kitchen chaos scene?
If You Want Blood.
Fucking A.
You got
exactly.
it. It's amazing how much money that song is making this year.
Just this year. Like, it's insane. Like, that song is, like, everywhere right now. And of course, I caught it and I was like, oh my God, I've heard this song. I mean, I watched that episode of Fubar, because you recommended it, just like the summer of AC/DC. Fuck yeah, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show yet again. Now, how old is that song? Almost 50 years old?
At least 40, yeah.
Yeah. 40 would be 83, so I think it's older than that.
It's the 70s.
70s, yeah. So let's see. Let's find that out.
And this is a Bon Scott one.
Yes.
And it's just amazing how many scenes that song works for.
It was 78, so it's 45 years old.
Woo.
Yeah, if you want just written if you
making that money.
Yeah, released. It was released in the UK, Europe, 13th of October 1978. In the US on 21st of November 1978. It was also the year that somebody on this podcast was born.
That's right.
Yeah. So, album was re-released in 1994 on Atco Records, and in 2003 as part of the AC/DC Remaster series. Do you know? I would imagine they probably use the remaster versus the original mix on these placements at this point in time. Wouldn't you imagine?
Kelsey
getting fucked out of his
just asked in my ear. She was like, "Did they have microphones then?"
No, they had a wax
this is a workplace,
cylinder.
And I'm not going to slap you in front of everyone, but. God damn it, Kelsey.
Just send Zahi in there and see what happens.
If you want blood, you got it. Ugh.
You got it. Yeah. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
It's everywhere. It's
Which,
great.
by the way, it took a while for that single to get off the ground. They had so many other things going on.
Yeah.
And it's a weird song. Imagine if you're hearing that on the radio during your work day in 1979 as you're going to your Xerox copier. That's not the song, right? That's not the one. I mean, you're talking about the disco era and AM Gold, which is now yacht rock. And I keep forgetting not in love. If you want blood, you got it.
There you go.
It's really weird to have that work into modern rock on the radio.
Michael McDonald goes just straight into the new single from AC/DC. AC. What a fool believes. Yeah, that kind of shit.
That's an awesome sync. I hope they use it more. Yeah. All right, I'm going to get into mine. Mine is did you have more?
No, I'm done.
Cool.
I'm done.
Yeah, The Bear. If you haven't seen it, make sure you get through season 2. I mean, but watch it from the beginning. Yeah. And you'll get about halfway through the first season, and you'll be like, I don't see why everyone's freaking it. Just keep going. There are 30-minute episodes in the beginning, and so just keep going. Yeah. And by about the end of the first season, you'll be like, okay, I kind of get it. By the time you're into the second season, you're like, I totally get it. This is one of the best shows ever.
Yeah.
So
it had me from the first 30 seconds of season 1, the way it was shot, the way it was cut together. Yeah. I was like, oh fuck, I'm in. I loved it.
And another shout out to an unsung hero in our world right now is Joel McHale.
Oh yeah.
No one's going to talk about Joel McHale on The Bear, but Joel McHale's character on The Bear actually is the whole reason for the whole show. If you think about it, it's the whole reason for the whole show. It's the whole reason why he turns out the way he does, why he eventually leaves, but why he still loves it. It's the whole reason. Yeah. So Joel McHale, we love you. And I think Joel McHale made fun of Denver once, so fuck you. But also, we do love you. And he was an excellent tight end.
Yeah. Thank you very much. He has a very nice tight end. Well done, Joel McHale. What are we talking about again?
I don't know. Yeah. Speaking of tight ends, I'm watching Minx again.
Ooh. Oh, Jake Johnson's in that, and I fucking love him.
I really like this show. It's kind of, I don't even know how far they're going to go with it. I didn't know if it was going to be, I heard it wasn't going to be picked up again. But it was on HBO, and now it's on, I'm not sure if it's HBO or Max or Cinemax or Stars, but somehow season 2 has happened. So season 2 just dropped of Minx. And if you don't know what it is, basically the story about an erudite writer, a woman writer in the 70s who happens upon basically pornography and ends up kind of starting a women's focused porno mag called Minx with a ne'er-do-well publisher. Jason Mantzoukas, is that his name? I'm probably getting that wrong.
No, that's the right actor, but I don't know if he's in.
Oh, I may have
Minx.
it wrong. Well, anyway, so Minx, season 2, episode 2. The ending song is called Number One by Bill Moss, and this is a 1968 cut. It's eclectic soul, is what it is.
Yeah.
If you can, look up Number One from Bill Moss. You're going to like that song, and you're going to understand why it's an in-credit song. It's got a great hook. It's one of those songs that's sort of an unsung hero song. Like, it's a song that I think now that supervisors are using it, it will probably get used a little bit more because it's just very unique. And the supervisor is Brienne Rose on Minx. It's a cool show. Look, it's not going to change the world, but if you're looking for something to watch, it's fun. It's very adult, and it's talking about a time in American history where pornography was not on your computer and easily accessible everywhere, and was not really even spoken about in public. And women, especially, were not involved in the ownership of it. And so it's kind of a cool thing if you're all into women's liberation / open-mindedness about pornography and some of that sort of thing. So there you go. Minx.
I have a question for you. Is that the guy you're talking about?
It is.
Right there. That is Jake Johnson. He is one of my favorite comedy actors.
That's Jake Johnson?
He was in New Girl as Nick Miller. Well, Nick Miller.
I love Jake Johnson.
Yeah, that's who that is. Anyway, also not to be confused with my friend and stellar guitar player in Nashville, also known as Jake Johnson.
Jake Johnson Nash.
And his band Guillotine, shout out. I love that guy. I think he's fucking great. I've yet to watch Minx. It's not that the topic does not amuse me. That's not the show that Kumail Nanjiani was in, the Chippendales show, right?
No,
I got them muddled up. Yeah, that's on. I get them muddled up. So maybe I will jump into Minx.
Yeah, and it's cool. The first season is pretty good. I think it's on HBO. You can find it on HBO.
It's not called that anymore. How dare you?
I know. I don't care. That's what I'm going to call it.
Called Hobo.
The lead person, Joyce is her name. Joyce Prigger. Yeah. Easy.
Oh, boy.
But her name is Ophelia Lovibond.
Yes. That is a fucking cool.
What a great name. And Jessica Lowe is Bambi in it. She's fantastic. There's a few people that you're like, oh, that person. It's kind of cool.
I love
it's
that.
funny if you look up Minx in the dictionary, the noun is derogatory and humorous. An impudent, cunning, easy, or bolding, flirtatious girl or woman. You saucy little minx.
I thought a minx was a cat.
That's a lynx.
I thought it was a minx as well.
There's a mink coat.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm. Okay, so I've been fucking that up for a guy with a literature degree. I fucked that up.
Well, I mean, that didn't come up then. Right?
I can think of a few things that did. What? I'm going to go.
All right, with that, let's wrap this sucker up. Kelsey, press stop. No, don't. Not yet. Make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. We would love for some ratings to happen out there and leave some dirty comments.
Yeah, tell me what a minx I am, please.
You saucy little minx.
That's very nice. At 2ShotsMusicPod, wherever you find your social accounts lurking. Did we find Kelsey on that shit yet?
I think I have again. I've sent. So the first one is a no.
Okay, so
and by the way,
hiding in the bush.
Kelsey in Ohio, I'm very sorry. She's a very sweet woman. She responded back and said, I don't think that I'm the person you think I am. And as I looked at the rest of her Instagram, it's very clear she has 2 kids.
She is not.
And so apparently.
But let's be honest. What do we really know about Kelsey's personal life? She might have 2 kids.
Yeah. Do you have?
Do you have a family in another state?
There's a serious head shaking going on over here. No kids are in the future. No kids right now.
Fair. Okay, that's good.
She says, so her hint is that there's wine. on her Instagram profile.
Oh,
so we
thank
now
God.
know it's
Then
Instagram.
we can be friends.
We know. I assumed it was Instagram because she hates Twitter. But I was like, well, if
I'm
it's
sorry.
on
What's the real
Snapchat-
name of it now? It's called X now.
I'm not doing
I
it.
refuse.
I'm not doing it. I watch The Cock. I watch HBO, and I use Twitter. And you can all fuck off with your new Coke. I don't care for it. All right,
watch
y'all.
The Cock. Okay, bye.
You're all beautiful people. Love you. Write a great song. Bye.
Love you. Bye.